Well, he's a rising star in the state of California, hailing out of Clovis. It is Dominic Gorden, here to talk about 2022, where he bested the field with the USAC National Midget Series, talked about his time with the Power Eye National Series as well in midgets, and for 2023, lots of sprint car racing on the schedule. That's next here on Getting Up to Speed. This broadcast is brought to you by Meat Freaks Jerky Club. Get the best jerky the world has to offer straight to your door by visiting meatfreaksjerkyclub.com. Pick your box and plan, tell them where to ship, and receive and enjoy. Log on to meatfreaksjerky.com and use promo code SPEED. Well, on the phone with me now, it's the young man out of Clovis, California, Dominic Gorden. Dominic, great to have you on here, and really looking forward to this interview, talking about all sorts of great racing.
Yeah, thank you for having me on here.
Well, let's talk about your 2022 season. Last year, you spent predominantly in the midgets. 43 starts, 17 top 10s, 7 top 5s, 4 podium finishes, finished 7th in Power Eye National points, but a pretty big win at winning the Stoops Pursuit at the dirt track at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, so we had a really good year in the midgets. We started off by running with CB Industries and Chad Boat. Then about halfway through the year, right before the race at IMS, we switched over and started running with KKM. And, you know, as you said, we won the Stoops Pursuit, finished around 10th in the A-Main Night 2. We just had a pretty good season, plenty of top 10s, a few top 5s, a few podiums here and there, one win. And, you know, now we're on to the sprint cars.
Yeah, and switching from Chad Boat to Keith Coons, that first race that you were with KKM, picked up a victory. Normally my question would be, was that a struggle? Was that a challenge of switching over, of adjusting? But for you, you were quick right out of the gate.
Yeah, so really the hardest part was just getting used to the car, which it wasn't even that bad. I mean, it was the same motor program, or close to the same at least, so not much difference there. But the guys at KKM helped me a lot. It's nice to have, you know, your own tire guy, your own car chief, your own crew chief, because you always have somebody to go to, and there's always somebody there to help you. And that's what KKM really excels in.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a really cool point that you make. You're not lost in the shuffle. Like if you're doing, how would I make this analogy? But if you're doing okay while everyone else is struggling, they're, you know, sometimes when you're in a multi-car team, they're going to focus on the people, you know, bring you guys up to the same level, where like you need a little tweaks. You may not get that attention, but with this program, with this different race team, you're able to get it as if you're a single car team.
Yeah. And, you know, like I said, there's always somebody you can go to with KKM that's going to help you.
Well, you mentioned it, sprint cars. That's something that is happening for you this year. Tell us about that for 2023.
Yeah, we started a new team. It's owned by my dad, and we have Richard Brown as a crew chief, and Jarrett Rogers just working with us. We got really nice stuff this year, and we're planning on hitting. Well, right now it's only 360 shows. We do not have a 410 yet.
Okay.
But we're planning on hitting around between 40 to 60 shows. Nice. And we're going to be focusing on SCCT and Placerville points.
Okay. So a little bit of a road trip for you guys, going to Pville pretty much every weekend, but no doubt it's a stout place to get really good really fast.
Yeah, I mean that is some of the hardest weekly competition other than Red Bluff, I think, out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw you at Red Bluff this winter at least once. I think maybe you were there a couple times since the winter break.
Yeah, so I raced 2 times there when we were getting rainouts for, I think, Placerville rained out, so I went and, or there was a rainout somewhere, and I went and raced Red Bluff. It's tough getting back in the carts. I mean, I definitely didn't do too good.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
well, what threw me off is they had this nice drone shot for West Coast Nationals showing all the trailers and stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute. Dominic Gordon's car's right there. Where's he at? But you were racing at Placerville that weekend for SCCT.
yeah, I'm not too sure why my car was there. Somebody sent me a picture of it and asked where I was, and I was just as confused as they were.
Wow. Wow, that's funny. That's interesting. So with the sprint car concentration being on the forefront, it sounds like, does that leave you any options to run some midget stuff? Would it be just some middle of the week shows perhaps around the country, or are you just all chips in on the sprint car right now?
So as of right now, the sprint car is our main focus. I think we'll be running Chili Bowl for sure, but everything else relating to midgets is kind of up in the air. It depends if my dad wants to do it or not. Because I would always be okay with running a midget race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you ran Chili Bowl this last year. I think, what was it, 9th in your prelim night? Did I get that correct?
Yeah, 9th, 10th, around there. I think it was 9th. And, Chili Bowl this year, I learned a lot. We were kind of battling the car the entire time, but still ended up 9th my prelim night. We were actually 4th in points in my prelim night, so I did go backwards in the prelim night A. Won the C main on Saturday, went forward in the B. Unfortunately, we couldn't transfer out of the B. So that ended our Chili Bowl.
Yeah, yeah. And couple races under your belt in the sprint car with your crew chief, Richard Brown. How has that been?
It's been going good. Richard's a really easy guy to work with. He's really smart when it comes to setup. I'm still getting comfortable with the sprint car, having a wing. I'm used to having to turn the car, and now I just got to let it do its thing, let the wing work. And I think we'll get better as the year goes on. He can't get much smarter, but hopefully we'll all get smarter by the end of the year.
Well, because he's wrenched on some pretty good teams over the years.
Yeah, I don't know exactly which ones, but I know he's worked with teams and won outlaw races.
Yeah, yeah. And of all the racetracks that are out there that you're going to be running, scheduled, of course, we're crossing our fingers that this deluge weather kind of fizzles out. But any particular racetracks you're really looking forward to logging laps at?
A lot of the Oregon tracks.
Okay.
Including in Washington, like Skagit, that's 100% on there.
Yeah.
That's honestly probably top of the list. I'm excited to race at Merced. I've gotten a few practice laps there. I've raced there in the midget. Mm-hmm. It's a really fun track in the midget. I'm sure it's going to be a good track in the sprint cars too. I've watched some good races there.
Nice. And so you say Skagit, so you guys are going to try and do the northern swing of the Western Sprint Tour for Speed Week?
Yes.
Awesome. That's super cool. Are you guys going to try and do the southern one too in August? I know that's a bit of stretch. Yeah. Oh, cool. You're one of the, I haven't tallied a list together, but you are one of the first, I will say, that is committed to both. So that's a really cool deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I'm really excited for it. I've seen a lot. I've been to almost every sprint car track in California, mm-hmm. but I haven't been to a sprint car track in Oregon or Washington. So nice. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, well, most likely I'll be bumping into you at most of those. So I'm looking forward to see how you do and how everything goes. It's a great way. It's a lot of races in a small period of time, but you're able to at a lot of different racetracks too. That's the twist to it, is it's pretty much a different racetrack every day. So that makes it challenging, but it also makes it fun.
Yeah, and that was something we also experienced around the midget, is I got to go to a bunch of cool racetracks that I've never been to or I never thought I'd really go to, like
Mhm.
bucket list racetracks, places like Kokomo and like Bloomington,
Yeah.
like really famous non-wing sprint car and midget tracks.
Mhm.
And I got to experience every one of them this year.
Yeah. Well, of those bucket list racetracks, which we're going to focus on the positive, which ones did you really like that you felt like you really adapted to quickly?
Kokomo.
Okay.
That is
That's
the top of my list. That's the best I've done at one of my bucket list tracks.
awesome. And
And I shouldn't say best.
just did really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I was looking at some other places you did pretty good with Davenport Speedway in Iowa, Falls, Fairbury American Legion Speedway in Illinois, and Sweet Springs Motorsports Complex in Missouri. You seem to be rolling pretty good at those joints too.
Yeah. Fairbury was another one of those bucket list tracks. And I think we ended up third
Yeah.
there. Yeah, those were just some. I mean, Davenport was a really cool track too.
Yeah.
I think we could have had a shot to win that one, but Chase McDermott got the win. He was fast.
Now, let's see. Davenport, that's not the one where guys kind of hit on the bigger track, is it? There's the old config. Maybe I'm thinking of Farley in Iowa.
Yeah, so there is a big track around it. I think it's a full mile.
Yeah.
I think Davenport's a half mile itself.
Yeah, they have a track within a track. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's actually a Carton micro track in the middle of that track.
It's like a Russian nesting doll of dirt ovals there.
Yep.
So everything sounds awesome. Sounds great for 2023. When you're not concentrating on racing related stuff, how do you what do you do to pass the time?
Well, I do online school, so I do schoolwork for at least the first half of the day. I go to the gym every day around 1,
Okay.
and then typically go to the shop right after that.
Now, this is a question I have for you. Since going to the gym, have you felt like that's helped you with your endurance and stamina for racing as a driver?
Yes. So throughout the USAC and Power Eye season, I could definitely tell a difference in my stamina from the beginning to the end.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I could run 30 laps under green, no problem at the end. When in the beginning, after about 25 laps, I'd start to get pretty tired.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great that you're conscious of that and aware of that, because you never know when it's going to be one of those deals where it's like, okay, we're going into overtime kind of thing here, or you got to really get it up. And if you're falling out of the seat, it's not a good place to be in.
Yeah, I've fallen out of the seat before, and it's not fun racing when you're that tired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I've always wondered, because, with outlaw carts too, like, man, to fall out of the seat in one of those things, that would not be a good combination to get wore out and tired in that deal. Even though, I mean, you know how it is with Red Bluff, how long you're there for and how long some of your races can go through no fault of your own.
Yeah, I mean, I have gotten really worn out at the end of an open A main,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just not fun leaning up against the headrest because you can't hold your head straight up, and just being tired, not being able to feel your arms. I guess no fun.
Yeah. Yeah. When Jesse Caldwell won the race a little bit ago for the West Coast Nationals, he was just I thought he was going to pass out or something. He's all red, but all dirty and grimy, and like not able to, like, it took him a while to get out of the car. It was, you would have thought they ran like a 200 lap race.
Yeah, and 50 laps at Red Bluff, that's a long time to be wheeling a outlaw cart around.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I mean, they got the fuel stop at halfway, but if I remember, nobody really got out of their car. I don't think they were even allowed to. So, you're still sitting. You're still in a stationary position. So,
Yeah, I don't think they were allowed to get out of their cars, but I mean, 5 minutes, you can only recover so much in 5 minutes.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. For you and your upcoming schedule, is there a good place that folks can see that? Team news perhaps is posted anywhere, or if you got any apparel that's going to be coming up for sale, is there a good location like on social media or on a website?
So actually, my Instagram posts at least 2 to 3, maybe 4 times a week. It's at Dominic Gorden 52Y. That's where you can find all the updates about me. Everything is posted on my Instagram. Also gets posted on my Facebook, which is just Dominic Gorden.
Mm-hmm.
And we post stories all throughout the week. Our process of getting ready, getting the car ready to go to the track, and everything we do from race to race, it all gets posted on there. And that's really the best place to keep up with me.
Okay. And do you sell merchandise on there or not quite yet?
So not quite yet. I think my dad is making me kind of prove myself before we can get merchandise.
Okay. Okay. Well, sounds good. So stay tuned on there if there's any merchandise that gets available. As far as individuals, specific people you want to thank, or even sponsors for making 2023 happen, I'll give you the floor for a minute here.
The guy who does the most for us, Gary Silva Ranches. He's our main sponsor of the year. Like, he's helping us with as much as we need. Like, he's a great guy. We also got Smith Tie, 10J Chassis, JI Apparel, FK Shocks, Carbon Copies, Fortitude Driver Development, and Cycleland Speedway.
Awesome.
They're all helping us keep me at the racetrack.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. You've got a core of great people behind you, believing in you and keeping you motivated to keep racing, because this is a very humbling sport. You never know when you're going to start winning, and you never know when the success is going to end either. So that's wonderful.
Yeah. And, there's some people that, I don't mind.
Oh, what was that?
Sorry, what?
Oh, sorry. I lost you there for a second.
Oh, that's all right.
Okay. It's all right. I can edit that out. Well, Dominic, it's been great to have you on here, and it's been an enjoyable interview, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you in person racing up here in the Pacific Northwest as well as in California, and I wish you the best of luck for this upcoming season.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to this latest episode of Getting Up to Speed with me, Ben Dethridge. We hope you enjoyed this program. We hope also that you hit the subscribe button and the like button, as that really helps things out, spreads things out. Be sure and share as well on social media so that more people can listen to these great interviews and from these great drivers. Getting Up to Speed is a production of Highside Racing Promotions. For more information, you can check it all out on Facebook at Highside Promotions.